What's up, guys? It's Wally, and today we're going to be doing some battles with one of my favorite Pokemon from Generation 8, Stonjourner. Now, I know Stonjourner isn't necessarily a popular pick, especially in Regulation G, but I think that it actually has some really good uses. I mean, first of all, it is a wide guard user, which, as we've seen in Regulation G with a lot of spread moves, it becomes pretty important, and it blocks a lot of ones that could do a lot of damage to a lot of the Pokemon on this team. So it's going to be great from that standpoint, but also with its ability Power Spot, it essentially gives a 30% bonus, which is just like a Life Orb, to everyone, at least your allies, on the field. So it's nice because look at really strong attackers like Rillaboom, Lunala, Ogerpon, and even Chi-Yu as well. Dude, this team is built with really strong attackers, so having that extra 30% for free is really nice. And Lunala even gets that +1 with the Meteor Beam and the Power Herb as well. So Lunala at +1 plus the 30%, yeah, you're going to be doing a ton of damage. And not just that, though, but Stonjourner is actually a pretty decent attacker as well. And when you have a spread move like Rock Slide, which is a stab move as well, it's really great. You have another great kind of coverage move with the Low Kick as well. Takes down a lot of Pokemon that are weak to that. And especially if they're heavier, it'll do even more damage. And then even the Terra Blast as well. If you end up having to Terrestrialize into grass, especially since Rillaboom ends up setting the grassy terrain as well, if you need that extra boost, you can always end up doing that. Now, there aren't a lot of times that you would end up doing that, especially considering the fact that we have 2 other Grassmons on the field. But again, you never know. So again, I know that Stonjourner isn't necessarily a popular pick in Regulation G, but again, it was one of my favorite Pokemon back in Generation 8, and I'm really excited to see if we can make it work here. So we'll get into some battles, but before we do, as always, if you guys are new here, just having chat, please make sure to go down and hit the subscribe button. If you guys do enjoy the video, please make sure to drop a like too. But let's get into the battles. So maybe not necessarily one where a wide guard would really be good, but still, one that I think Stonjourner could be good in because of the Rock Slide and everything like that too. Plus, we do have Low Kick, and that would be pretty good against Incineroar. So that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing to go with. We do have to worry about potentially Raichu with the Fake Out Pressure, and of course Incineroar too, and potential screens. But we can still do some work here. So let's go Lunala, and let's go Lunala. Let's go Tornadus too. Honestly, I think, nah, maybe not actually, because I was gonna say with the electric, and if we end up putting up the sun, that could actually be bad for us. Let's go Lunala. Let's go Chi-Yu. Let's go Stonjourner. And let's go Rillaboom as well. Honestly, we probably should have ended up going with Ogerpon, but still, I think having the ground is going to be good, especially considering the fact that, especially with, what's his name, Gastrodon. Oh, this could actually be really good. But especially with Gastrodon, again, that could be a bit of a problem. Especially if they terrestrialize fire. So having the ground is going to be a good way to kind of have something that's going to be super effective against them, even if they don't, even if they do or don't terrestrialize, pardon me. Sorry, I'm kind of thinking about what we should do here. Honestly, I think going with the Heat Wave might be the best call. The main reason why is because since we're going with the Meteor Beam up there, they may know that, and so they may terrestrialize into something to kind of avoid that. Typically, that would be grass. So let's go with the Heat Wave just in case they terrestrialize into that grass. That is not the case. They put the light screen up, but dang it. That's alright. I mean, we missed Grimmsnarl, but that's alright. We'll hit him next time. This time, we have the Meteor Beam. That's going to be extremely good. As long as we hit. Shouldn't have said anything. Alright, well, that's not great. That's not great. Good thing is we have the Shadow Shield to help with that. But unfortunately, we do get burnt. I kind of knew that was going to happen anyways, but that's okay. That's okay, though. We still get our +1, and that honestly is one of the better things here. So let's go Moongeist Beam, And we got to go for that Heat Wave again. We might need Stonjourner now just for the rock. So maybe we should actually leave Ho-Oh, now that I'm thinking about it too. And the other good thing too about Stonjourner, like I mentioned before too, is just that power spot. That extra 30% damage is good. That's rough. I bet we're gonna get Spirit Break then. Or Spirit Broken? Oh, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna get a move over to us, which again, I think is gonna be the Spirit Break to lower our special attack by 1. It's understandable. Now we could actually swap out Lunala and have it be fine, but honestly, we're gonna keep them in there. Let's go for the Dazzling Gleam. And let's go for the Heat Wave again, too. I know that's not going to do much to Ho-Oh, but again, I'm really banking on the fact that... Stonjourner can really kind of put them to rest. Especially with the physical move, too. That's actually pretty good for us. And that's okay. That's not bad. Come on now. Dazzling Gleam. Pick up that KO. That's good. Gastro, unfortunately, is going to hang in there for a bit longer. Oh, quite a bit longer. Alright. So... Oof, that's rough. But it'll be okay. The good thing here is it's not like they're the ones who, or it's not like Stonjourner is going to be the one to take that. I know this is going to sound strange. I'm going to trust that Lunala is going to stay in there and not get taken out here. Let's do that, and... Let's go into Rillaboom, too. Let's save Chi-Yu. Because, again, if they do end up terrestrializing into grass with Ho-Oh, it'll be nice to have something that's going to be super effective against it, if they do. No fake out, so we might get taken out here. We do, unfortunately. So Lunala's gone. And that's pretty bad, don't get me wrong, but we're still going to be able to survive this. Yep, the Earth Power makes a lot of sense. And now it's time to bring in Stony J. It's going to be able to do some good stuff, and Rillaboom actually gets that little power boost as well. That free life orb, essentially. And here's the good thing, too. Bringing out Stonjourner means that pivoting for them is going to be extremely difficult. Main reason being, you know what, are they going to bring in Ho-Oh? Are they just going to deal with the fact that Incineroar is going to take a super effective Rock Slide? No, lots of different things. So let's go for that Rock Slide. And we're going to go for a high horsepower over to Incineroar. Perfectly fine. You were not the one we were necessarily targeting here. Big. Again, dude, that power spot, man, just does so much. I love it. They had the Agua Berry. Yikes, that's not good for us. But we pick up Incineroar. Huge damage. And now, well, they get to decide who they really want to terrestrialize here. Again, realistically, the right call for them to terrestrialize is going to be Ho-Oh. Downside for them is the fact that we do have a Firemon in the back. So here's what we're going to do. Go for that Rock Slide again. Let's tear it into fire. And let's go for that wood hammer down into Gastro. That way, if they do end up terastallizing, we would end up having a really strong move over there. And again, the fact that we have the power spot out there too is going to be a big help. Yeah, I think they're trying to figure out who they want to terastallize. And again, it's totally understandable. You got one that goes down that's 4x weak to rock. You got one that's 4x weak to grass. I get it. Question is, which one do you really value more? And my guess is going to be the Ho-Oh. Sure is. And there's that grass terror. And again, that's why we left Chi-Yu in the back, or brought it back, I guess, to kind of keep it out there. That way, if they did end up terastallizing like they did right there, we would have something to really take care of it. And again, as long as just something bizarre doesn't happen here, we should be able to take out Gastro in one, too. I feel confident right here. Going for the double protect. That's totally fair. Honestly, I've had to do that, like, just a handful of times over the last, like, couple days, so I get it. It's not a fun thing to try to have to get, but sometimes it's really necessary. That's good, though. Now we're going to get the Rock Slide. It's going to be a neutral hit. If we would have hit it. That's okay, though. Let's go with the Rock Slide. Let's go for the Rock Slide, and let's go for the Wood Hammer again. No burn. That's okay, though. That's okay. And again, even though Stonjourner just has an absolutely horrid, holy cow, it's a good amount of damage, too. A horrid special defense stat. That physical defense is pretty damn good. So things like that Sacred Fire aren't going to do incredibly much. Now, if it was a special attacker, completely different story. But thankfully, that is not the case. And again, we're really getting a lot of help from Stonjourner on Rillaboom. Otherwise, I don't think we would have been able to take that. Let's go with the Rock Slide again, and this time we're going to just go for the Grassy Glide. Just for the Grassy Glide. And they just want to get a little bit of healing back, and that is totally understandable too. Plus, we do take that extra burn damage. But again, having Chi-Yu in the back is going to be extremely huge, especially considering the fact that we do have the Choice Scarf, so we're definitely going to outspeed. Or Stony J. Light screen's gone, and the grass is gone, which means that no more Grassy Glide. Let's go for the Rock Slide, and may as well just go for that Wood Hammer too. My dude. This should do it. It does. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about right there. Again, that power spot just really coming in handy here. This wasn't one for wide guard, but it was definitely one for the power spot. And yeah, Rillaboom definitely took advantage of that. Good game. Oh boy, now this could be a rough one. Honestly, this might be one that we could actually go Ogerpon and go for the Follow Me. Main reason being, I don't know what is that, Furret? I don't know what that has, but if it does have Beat Up or something like that, we don't want Terrakion to get those boosts. So, I think we might actually start with that. So we're actually going to go Lunala along with Ogerpon, if need be. We're going to bring Stony J, of course. And honestly, Rillaboom might be the play again. And high horsepower, we also have, yeah, I think that's going to be the play. Let's go Rillaboom too. Again, I sometimes forget too that I think Terrakion is also a fighting type. So, again, we have quite a bit to worry about with that. So, no use bringing Chi-Yu and having to worry more about it, you know? Besides, he'd be weak to both the moves that they could potentially have, the rock and the fighting. I'm sorry, the potential stab moves. Don't want to say those would be the only moves that they would have. Oh, that's a little rough. Alright, now I know that they are a fake out mon, and that would be rough. That is not what we want to see. Let's go for the meteor beam. Let's go for that spiky shield. And if they're sash, let's break that sash. Or they just go for the follow me. That makes sense too. Oof! Getting toxic. Getting toxic? Does that make sense? Either way, that's fine. We'll bring them down to sash. Or what I would imagine to be the sash. Hey, we finally hit this one. Let's go. Hey, it only took 2... No? So we could have picked up the double here, actually. Well, that one's on me. Either way now, at least we're a +1. It's not like we lost any real kind of speed things here. So, pretty happy about that. What do you say we go Dazzling Gleam on this one? Even though Salazzle is 4x resistant to it. Let's go for the Dazzling Gleam. That'll be fine. I'm gonna go for the Cudgel over there. May as well. Yeah, we can actually start going for Wide Guards then. Not incredibly worried though, because it's not doing too much damage. That's a problem. That's okay. We get Salazzle down to its sash, which is, yeah, unfortunately what it was. Go for the Wide Guard. And, let's bring in Stonjourner. Main reason we're doing this is so we can bring in a different Wide Guard mon. And again, this is the benefit to having 2 Wide Guard users on the team too. Wouldn't necessarily say it's always the smartest thing to do, but in this case, it kind of was. So there we go. Rock Slide. Rock Slide, both of them being blocked. Oof. Oof. Okay, good. No poison on that one, thankfully. So now here's what we can do. Let's go Dazzling Gleam. And let's go Wide Guard over here. That way we can actually have the stronger special attacker hit. Perfect. Now, question is, do they change their mind on what they use? They do not. That is big. And now we'll actually get the benefit of the Power Spot as well. After we take a Sludge Bomb? Okay, so we don't get the benefit of it anymore. That is unfortunate, but again, Stonjourner did its job for this one turn because now we get to knock out Salazzle. And Terrakion goes down to the red. I thought maybe it would KO. Wish we could have gotten that crit over on Terrakion instead, but still going to be fine though. Lunala is still poisoned, and it's getting worse. But we can go Rilla now. And honestly, we can really just... Oh, that's rough. And they're probably going to protect. Either way, let's go for the Moongeist Beam over there. And let's just go for the Grassy Glide into Terrakion. We'll take out Terrakion, which will be good. And then hopefully we can get the Moongeist Beam. Definitely not guaranteed. but worth a shot. And honestly, if we would have still had Stonjourner out there, we would have KO'd. A Terrakion, that is, unfortunately. That's okay. Yeah, we kind of knew they were going to Terrastalize, and it makes sense. They kind of needed to, in all honesty. Makes sense. We will have neutral hits to go into there, but hopefully we can really take out their Shadow Shield. By Terrakion. And now who goes first? Huh. Huh. Okay, well that's a bit of a problem. Alright, well, let's Terrastalize. Let's go for the Ivy Cudgel over there. And let's also go for the Grassy Glide to break the Shadow Shield. And again, the main reason why we're not Terrastalizing Rillaboom here is because we would have had to Terrastalize on the last one to survive more. I don't think we would have survived one more Heat Wave even if we Terrastalized. So, may as well get the special defense increase. Good damage. Yep, Ogerpon tanks that, thankfully. We just need to make sure that we're not fully parried. Nice. Please be enough. Give me that crit. Oof! Rough. Rough. It's really close, though, but unfortunately, I think that means that they're going to have to go for a Moongeist Beam here. And that's probably going to be enough to KO, unless they're stuck in Heat Wave, which is possible. And I think that's what it was, too. That's really good for us. That could have been really bad if they had the ability to go for the Moongeist Beam. But yeah, man, that could have been rough. But thankfully, we ended up coming out on top. Yes, Stonjourner was only out there really for 1 or 2 turns. But realistically, it did what it was supposed to do. And it kept us safe from that Rock Slide and allowed Lunala to be able to get a big move off to be able to knock out Salazzle and be able to get Terrakion down to the red. So good game. So let's try to end this one on a good note. What do you say to that? So what do you say we end up starting with Lunala and Stonjourner? That way we can have Wide Guard if we really need it, which unfortunately we might. So let's go those two. We're probably going to need... No, actually, we could probably make them think that we're going to go for the... for a Trick Room, too. That would be a big positive. But yeah, let's go Rillaboom, and then let's go Chi-Yu as well. Ogerpon, honestly, wouldn't be that bad either. Downside to Ogerpon, though, is the fact that... yeah, the water type as well would be pretty bad against Rillaboom and potential Electric too. Obviously, we wouldn't have to, or wouldn't be able to Terrastalize them. Nah, that's all right though. I still like Rillaboom. I like having the priority, and I like having the high horsepower to be able to go against things like again that Raging Bolt. And even Incineroar too. I mean, we saw how much damage it did to that other Incineroar with the Power Spot out there. So if we can get a replication of that, that would just be fantastic. Not who we wanted to see. All right. It's okay. Let's Terrastalize. Let's go Meteor Beam over there. And let's go into Rillaboom. If we could take out Incineroar right here, that would be the best case scenario, truly. And the reason why we're Terrastalizing is just in case they end up going for a knockoff instead. I just want to make sure that we end up, you know, surviving. In the case that we don't end up, in the case that we don't end up KOing with the, which we actually probably would have been able to with the power spot. So that was probably worthless right there. But if they, for some reason, ended up going Surging Strikes over into Stonjourner, we wouldn't have got that benefit. So again, it really depends on what they end up doing here. So we'll see. What you gonna go with? Well, now we get to see, and I bet you they go knockoff too. They do. It's unfortunate that they outsped. And now that's going to be really tough for our Power Herb here. Or for our Meteor Beam, I should say. That's bad. That's really bad, as a matter of fact. But we do get to go for the Grassy Glide over to Urshifu. They may end up swapping out, which is totally fine, but hey, if they don't, we can get a pretty good move here. So we'll see. Yeah, we would have ended up... Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, we would have ended up losing... But this will still be okay. But yeah, we still would have ended up losing Stonjourner if we left it in, so it wouldn't have made a difference. That's some good stuff. That's not. Could be able to KO here, though. Yeah, let's go. But now they're going to get to bring out Urshi, which is not good for us, unfortunately. Alright, thankfully, we're back up to full HP, which means that Shadow Shield is back to active. Question is, what's going to be the right play here? Oh, they actually bring out Rilla. That's fair. Let's go for the Wide Guard, and let's go for the Wood Hammer. Wide Guard is going to go before the Fake Out, which is good. And so if they go Astral Barrage and Fake Out, we're going to be fine here. But unfortunately, that is a big if. Please tell me that was the right call. Okay, well that's fine. Still ended up working out, baby. Still ended up working out. We take that all day. And we should be able to KO with the Wood Hammer despite the fact that we are burnt. We do. Huge. Huge. They lose their Restricted and their Terra. We've already lost our Terra, but that's neither here nor there. And now all we have to deal with is an Urshifu and this Rillaboom right here, too. Unfortunately, we are burnt. And that's not great. But, again, we actually do have a couple really good mons in the back. One of them being Stonjourner. And the other one being, I don't remember. Chi-Yu! Okay, so maybe not. Let's go Dazzling Gleam, though. And let's also go Grassy Glide. Or we just take the win. Stonjourner didn't do anything right there, but it being on the team just scared them enough for us to end up picking up the win. Good game. So even though Stonjourner didn't really make it to that last game, despite the fact that it started out there but essentially just got taken out, still think that we proved how important not just Wide Guard is on Stonjourner, but how important Power Spot is too. I mean, having it out there with Rillaboom was able to do a lot of damage with that high horsepower into Incineroar, more than you would typically see. And then Stonjourner was just able to kind of clean that up with the Rock Slide as well. Stonjourner is actually a pretty strong Pokemon too, so that Rock Slide still did a lot of damage. And when you have moves like Low Kick and even potentially the Grass Terra Blast with it too, could do a lot of good damage. Plus you get that benefit with that Power Spot as well, so again, a lot of good damage. But again, that wide guard that was able to help Lunala out there to be able to get that Dazzling Gleam off, to block the Rock Slide and still be able to take out the Salazzle and the Terrakion, or at least getting that down to a very low HP, was really beneficial. So again, Stonjourner has a lot of benefits. It's a really, really good supporter, despite the fact that it has a really terrible special defense stat. Still really good out there for the power spot and that wide guard. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to go down and drop a like. If you're new, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.